My name is Varek Sol, Senior Threat Analyst of the Carthy Union, survivor of 12 border conflicts, decorated twice, slightly overconfident, formally. If you are hearing this recording, then the Council has finally admitted what I warned them about. The horror that hunts aliens is human. It began with a missing fleet, not ours, not officially. A pirate armada known as the Blood Tithe vanished near the outer spiral arm. 27 warships, raiders, smugglers, professional organ thieves, the sort of delightful neighbors every civilized system pretends not to see. They entered the Sol sector. They never came out. We assumed internal betrayal, reactor instability, perhaps a territorial species defending its nest. We were wrong. 3 cycles later, we intercepted a distress echo, fragmented, corrupted, looping a single phrase. They are smiling. For context, in galactic warfare, smiling is not considered threatening. Baring teeth is typically a digestive prelude. Among my species, it indicates mild gastrointestinal discomfort. Humans, however, use it before violence. Commander Rune laughed when I advised caution. Varek, they are a young species. Primitive projectiles. Chemical rockets. They celebrate minor milestones as if they invented gravity. I enlarged the final pirate trajectory on the holomap. Commander, the Blood Tithe were not amateurs. They stripped planets. And now they are gone, Rune replied. Perhaps the humans negotiated. Yes, negotiated with railguns. Our scout vessel, the Quiet Orbit, entered Sol under full cloak. Passive scans only. No emissions, no signals. We observed Earth, blue oceans, white cloud systems, broadcast traffic filled with music, arguments, cooking competitions, and something called competitive baking. I almost relaxed. Then we found the wreckage. 27 pirate vessels, scattered, in orbit around Mars, hulls punctured with surgical precision. Clean kinetic penetration straight through reinforced armor, no plasma burns, no radiation bloom, no debris patterns consistent with energy weapons, just holes. Precise, controlled, intentional. Captain Irix whispered, "What weapon leaves so little?" "Trace," I answered before thinking. "One that doesn't need spectacle." We traced the impact vectors, dense metal projectiles, accelerated to extreme velocities, no dramatic flare, no thermal signature beyond friction bloom. Pure physics. Weaponized. Humans call it a railgun. They fired from planetary installations, from their surface to orbit. Repeatedly. Understand this. Most civilizations defend with shields. They project force outward. They rely on fleets. Humans fortified their soil. Who fortifies dirt? We continued monitoring. A pirate distress log was recovered from a debris core. Audio only, alien voice, trembling. They fired before we hailed. No warning, no ritual, just impact. We boarded one of their stations. It looked abandoned. Static. They were waiting. A second voice entered the recording. Human, calm, almost friendly. "Welcome aboard. You picked the wrong solar system." Gunfire followed. Projectile weapons again. Not elegant, not radiant. Just loud, relentless, efficient. Bang, bang, bang. Irix muted the playback. Commander Rune stopped smiling. The Council, however, demanded confirmation. Pirates exaggerate, criminals panic, so we deployed a cloaked micro-drone, phase shifted, undetectable by every known sensor architecture. It approached a human orbital platform designated Harbor 9. 5 seconds after entering proximity, the drone received a signal, human transmission, unknown object in restricted vector. You have 3 seconds to identify yourself. We held position, cloak stable. No detection should have been possible. Another transmission. 2 seconds. And yes, we can see you. The drone's feed filled with targeting reticles. Our stealth signature mapped, outlined, analyzed. 1 second. The drone disappeared. Not jammed. Not disabled. Erased. A kinetic interceptor from a defense satellite rotated into firing position with mechanical indifference and executed a perfect strike. Commander Rune stared at the blank feed. They detected phase shift cloaking? Yes. How? I exhaled slowly. They assume someone is always watching. Humans track anomalies obsessively. Microgravitational distortions, thermal inconsistencies, irregular particle drift. They expect intrusion. Their entertainment depicts invasions weekly. Their children simulate alien attacks as games. They prepared long before we arrived. Then came Europa. A pirate escape pod drifted toward the moon. Automated distress beacon active. Human patrol responded. We expected capture. We were wrong. A human frigate approached. Sleek, compact. Designation, Vigilant Mercy. The name was almost humorous. They opened a channel. Human captain, female, identified as Captain Mara Vale. Voice steady. You entered our system armed. You fired on civilian traffic. You do not receive rescue. You receive consequences. The pod transmitted frantic surrender. We surrender. We surrender. Captain Vale replied evenly. Good. That simplifies things. The frigate deployed. A cylindrical object. No plasma, no energy bloom, a tungsten kinetic rod, released, gravity-assisted, accelerated impact. The pod ceased to exist. No cheering, no triumph, just a quiet voice on comms. Threat neutralized. Log it. I felt something unfamiliar, not fear, respect, and something colder. Humans were not enraged. They were composed. Predators who had already calculated the outcome. We requested diplomatic contact. The Council approved limited communication. Our transmission was formal. Human authorities of Earth, this is the Carthy Union. We request clarification regarding your defensive posture. Pause, a human voice answered. Male, casual. Clarification, sure. Don't invade. Silence stretched across the void. Rune stiffened. We have not threatened your world. A soft chuckle. Neither did the last 27 ships. They just showed up armed. We noticed. I stepped forward. Your level of readiness suggests prior expectation of extraterrestrial hostility. Another pause. Then, quieter. We've been expecting you for centuries. My secondary hearts tightened. On what basis? Probability, he said. If we're here, someone else is too, and eventually, someone tests that theory. And if they do, I asked, no hesitation, they won't like the result. Transmission terminated. Rune whispered, they speak as if rehearsed. They are, I replied. We analyzed their military archives. Public access. That was the unsettling part. Centuries of internal warfare. Tactical evolution forged through necessity. Projectile systems refined to brutal efficiency, autonomous defense grids, planetary shield prototypes under development. But the most alarming discovery was this: contingency files labeled in case of alien contact, detailed invasion countermeasures, psychological response models for non-human cognition, boarding defense corridors engineered as lethal funnels. They studied enemies that did not yet exist. They prepared for us before knowing our biology. I addressed the Council in emergency session. Honored. Delegates, humanity is not naive. They are not reckless conquerors. They are something more dangerous. Murmurs spread. They are patient, suspicious, adaptive. They assume hostility and train accordingly. Any force entering Sol uninvited will be destroyed. Councillor Venn scoffed. We outnumber them. Yes, I said quietly. So did the pirates. Silence followed. Then the alert came. Unidentified warp signatures at the edge of Sol, not Carthy, not human. A third faction, large, armed, advancing. Commander Rune turned to me. Varek. If they are hostile, I finished the thought, they are not hunting humans. The long-range feed activated, human fleets mobilizing, no panic, no confusion, disciplined formations, pre-calculated vectors, weapons hot before the enemy completed. Translation, prepared. And for the first time in my decorated, overconfident life, I pitied the newcomers. The unidentified fleet translated into real space with all the subtlety of a supernova. 73 capital ships, blade-shaped hulls, gravity distorters thrumming so violently our long-range sensors shuddered. Their insignia identified them. Instantly, the Torgoth Dominion conquerors, assimilators, a civilization that negotiated only to formalize surrender. Commander Rune exhaled slowly. They will not stop at Sol. No, I replied, they will break themselves inside it. The Dominion broadcast immediately. This system is claimed surrender planetary authority. Submit biological data for classification. Human response time, 8 seconds. A single transmission from Earth, female voice, not Captain Vale. This one carried dry, effortless amusement. You're trespassing, the Dominion commander bristled. We are the Dominion. You will kneel. A pause, then the human answered, calm and unimpressed. We don't really do that. And then it began. The Dominion fired first. Plasma lances streaked toward Earth's orbital grid. Brilliant, intimidating, designed for spectacle. Human defense. Satellites rotated in flawless synchronization. No speeches, no dramatic declarations, just calculations executing. Kinetic interceptors launched. The space around Earth flashed, not with explosions, but with impact bursts. Hypervelocity rounds pierced plasma emitters mid-flight, collapsing them before full discharge, precision so exact it felt deliberate. Dominion cruisers advanced, shields flaring, human fleets surged to meet them. I monitored the tactical overlay with professional detachment. I calculate probabilities. I measure survival margins. The humans ignored conventional doctrine. They did not cluster. They did not form ceremonial lines. They dispersed. Small hunter groups, fast, coordinated, adaptive. A Dominion battleship fired a full broadside at a human destroyer. The destroyer did something unexpected. It rolled, not away, into the attack. Armor absorbed the outer blast arc, while 3 escort frigates slipped beneath shield harmonics and targeted. A single coordinate, same point. Again, again, again. The Dominion shield destabilized. The 4th volley penetrated. Hull breach. Atmosphere vented in violent spirals. Human comm traffic flowed through our intercept channels. Shield frequency logged. Compensating. Adjust by 0.02. They sounded like engineers correcting faulty machinery. A Dominion cruiser initiated boarding procedures against a human carrier. Dropships launched. Magnetic clamps engaged. Successful attachment. IRIX leaned forward. Now we observe their weakness. Interior feeds activated across our display. Broadcast publicly. Of course, who streams their own defensive measures? Humans. Dominion troops advanced through metallic corridors. The lights cut out. Emergency. Red strobes ignited. A human voice echoed through the ship. Welcome aboard. Ceiling panels opened. Automatic turrets descended. Shotguns, not plasma, not lasers. Close-range projectiles spread. Violent, efficient Dominion armor fractured under repeated kinetic impact. Then the floor sections retracted. Invaders dropped into containment chambers, doors sealed, atmosphere vented. Human marine squads entered once depressurization stabilized, magnetic boots locking against hull plating. One marine laughed. Should have checked the reviews. The boarding attempt lasted 6 minutes. Commander Rune whispered, they engineered interior corridors for breach scenarios. Yes, I replied. They practiced this for centuries. The Dominion flagship began charging a gravitational shear cannon. A planetary fracture weapon, sensor arrays spiked. They are targeting Earth directly, I said. Human response shifted instantly, not defensive, decisively offensive. Every available vessel altered vector toward the flagship. No hesitation, no debate. If executing a pre-written sequence, Captain Mara Vale's frigate reappeared on the tactical grid, her voice cut cleanly across channels. All units, focus fire on Dominion Prime. End this. A human cruiser accelerated beyond safe stress thresholds. Hull temperature climbing. Structural alarms ignored. It rammed. Direct collision with the flagship's shield envelope. Shield harmonics destabilized. Planetary rail platforms fired simultaneously. Hundreds of kinetic strikes. Same coordinates. The shield collapsed. Dominion Prime's cannon detonated mid-charge. The resulting explosion tore through adjacent vessels. Half the Dominion fleet vanished in its own shockwave. Silence followed. Debris drifted like metallic snowfall. Remaining Dominion ships attempted retreat. Humans did not pursue recklessly. They targeted engines, disabled warp cores, secured survivors, controlled, measured. Within 42 minutes, the Dominion fleet ceased to exist as an organized force. I reviewed casualty projections. Human losses, minimal. Dominion losses, catastrophic. Commander Rune looked ill. They fought as if they rehearsed this invasion. I accessed human public archives again. War simulations, alien invasion scenarios in entertainment, strategic modeling, academic studies predicting extraterrestrial hostility curves. They never waited for first contact. They prepared for worst contact. Human transmission reached surviving Dominion vessels. You entered armed. You fired on our planet. We responded. Surrender and you will live. Try again and we will not be this patient. Patient. After dismantling a fleet, I opened a secure channel to Earth. This is Varek Sol of the Carthy Union, a different human. Da answered, male, calm, mildly amused. We know. You allowed our surveillance. You were careful, not careful enough. You could have eliminated our scouts. Yes. Why didn't you? A brief pause. Because you didn't fire first. My secondary hearts tightened. You assume everyone will. We assume someone will, he corrected. Commander, Rune stepped forward. The Dominion is a major power. You understand the consequences? Soft exhale from the human. We didn't start this. You destroyed their fleet. They tried to fracture our planet. Silence. Then his voice hardened. Not. Louder, but colder. We have one home. We are not losing it. No arrogance, no bravado, just finality. I asked the question that had followed me since the pirates vanished. What are humans? The reply was simple. The species that survives. Transmission ended. The council convened again. Alliance proposals, containment. Strategies. One reckless delegate suggested preemptive assault while humans replenished ammunition. I stood. Do not. Silence fell. I displayed battle recordings, pirate annihilation, Dominion collapse, boarding traps. This species does not expand aggressively. They fortify, they observe, they prepare. Leave them undisturbed, and they remain within Sul. Threaten them, and they escalate beyond prediction. Councillor Venn asked quietly. Are they monsters? I considered carefully. No. Monsters act on instinct. And humans? They calculate. The Dominion remnants retreated beyond Sol's boundary. Human fleets returned to orbit. Repairs initiated immediately. Construction platforms expanded before debris fields fully dispersed. New defense satellites deployed within hours. Always reinforcing. Always improving. Irix looked at me. Will they ever leave their system to hunt? I watched Earth rotate on the holoscreen. Blue. Serene, deceptively calm, only if someone insists. Weeks later, a final broadcast echoed across monitored frequencies. 2. Any species listening. We prefer trade over war, but we are extremely good at war. Choose wisely. No threats, no boasting. Just fact. And I, Varek Sol, decorated veteran, former skeptic, now understand. The galaxy feared monsters lurking between stars. It should have feared the species waiting on a blue world, smiling, because when the horror hunts aliens, it does not roar, it calculates. In a universe full of hunters, Humanity was the one thing no one prepared for.